In this video, we are going to look at the Sales tab. If used with the Harvest and Contracts tabs, it provides real-time crop inventory management and is a great tool to help with marketing. It will typically be used with scale tickets received from grain elevators, processors, or other end users of grain, but it will also work with many other crops as well. It totals the amount sold, averages the price, and tells the percentage of the crop sold. Just as in the Contracts tab, when you select the Sales tab, you will see the management selectors at the top of the screen change from year, operator, farm, field, and crop to just year, operator, and crop. This is because the Contracts and the Sales tabs are designed around the common practice of grain being commingled in storage across an operation. Near the top of the Sales tab, there is a Find Ticket selector and a New Ticket button. The Find Ticket selector will be disabled until you have at least 2 records saved. After that, it can be used to look through previously entered data for editing or review. The New Ticket button will be disabled until you have at least 1 record saved. After that, it is used to begin entering data for a new ticket. Near the center of a screen is an automatic ticket record counter, a total dollar, units sold, and dollar per unit display, and save, cancel, and delete buttons. The units sold and the dollar per unit labels will change for whatever crop is selected from the top management selectors to reflect the units that were saved for that crop's yield unit. Until there is information entered, the Save, Cancel, and Delete buttons will be disabled. If you haven't already done so, select the year, operator, and crop you wish to add the sales data to. Now let's begin entering a sales ticket. If this is your first ticket, click the Buyer Selector drop-down and select who the sale is to. If adding a ticket, click the New Ticket button, then click the Buyer Selector drop-down and select who the sale is to. You may notice the Date cell already has the current date in it. Just like the Inputs, Harvest, and Contracts tabs, there are 3 ways to edit the date. If the date is close to what you want, you can simply use the plus and minus keys on your keyboard to adjust it up or down. If you want to make a large change, you can double-click on it and a calendar will pop up. It opens with the current year, month, and day, but just select the year, month, and day you want, and the calendar will close and fill in the date you selected. If after opening the calendar you decide the current date is what you want after all, double-click the day and it will close with the current day in the date. One more way to edit the date is to highlight the date and type in what you want from the keyboard. The ticket number cell is for the number of the scale ticket if dealing with a grain elevator or processor. Type in the number from the scale ticket paperwork. The settle number cell is for the check number or settlement sheet number from grain elevator or processor settlement sheets. Type in the number from the settlement sheet paperwork or check number for other crops. This number is used in a report to list all loads for a given settlement number. The quantity cell is pretty self-explanatory. Type in the quantity sold. By default, the harvest unit will fill in with data from how crop types were set up. If more than one harvest unit for the crop was set up there, you can click on the harvest unit drop-down selector and ID numbers with the corresponding harvest unit will be available to pick from. Most growers will probably have just 1 harvest unit per crop. But if you wanted to track grain in pounds during harvest, and change to bushels while loading out of bins, you would have 2 harvest units in the crop types window. And just so you know, the harvest unit cell will default to the first harvest unit in the list from the crop types window. The moisture cell is typically for moisture level from a grain elevator or processor scale ticket. Type in the number from the scale ticket paperwork. The discount and bonus cells are for any deductions or additions made by the grain elevator or processor to the sale price. These cells will subtract or add to the sale or contract price entered. For example, on grain settlement sheets, there will be dollars subtracted or added to each load. Those amounts can be entered as either cents per unit or total dollars for that load, or a combination of both. The price cell will default to 0 and should only be used if no contracts are involved. If making a cash sale and you don't wish to use a spot contract with it, then type in the price here. If you plan on applying the amount of the sale to any kind of contract, then leave it at 0. The Haul In drop-down selector is an aid in keeping track of loads. If you have created haul-in vehicles from the descriptions menu, they will be available from the drop-down haul-in selector. This entry is used in a report to list all loads for a given haul-in vehicle. The Notes cell has 2 ways to enter data. One way is to just start typing. The text can wrap on past the width of the cell. The other way is to double-click on the Notes cell. A window will pop up allowing all of the text of the note to be seen. When done typing, click OK and the text will be stored in the Notes cell. At this point, the Save and Cancel buttons are enabled and you have the choice to save the data you entered or cancel it. If you wish to apply the sale to a contract, you must save it first. Also, if you wish to subtract the quantity from a storage facility, the ticket must be saved first. After saving the ticket, the Select Contract and the Select Storage buttons become available. Now you can apply the sale quantity to a contract by clicking the Select Contract button. The Apply to Contract window will pop up. By default, the Quantity Applied cell will have the amount of the scale ticket in it, not already applied to some other contract. Click on the Contract drop-down selector and you will be able to select from the list of contracts entered in the Contracts tab. After you select a contract, you can apply the sale to the contract by clicking OK, or you can change your mind and back out by clicking Cancel, and the Apply to Contract window will close. As you continue to apply sales to contracts, you will eventually get close to filling in a contract with only a small amount left in it. When you select a contract in the Apply to Contract window, the database will check the contract balance, and if it is smaller than the sales load, it will enter the smaller number to properly fill the remainder of the contract. And you can edit the quantity applied number yourself anytime that window is open for whatever special circumstances arise. Sales loads applied to contracts update the total dollar, units sold, and dollar per unit in the middle of the screen each time they are applied. Sales loads applied to contracts also update the balance cell automatically in the Contracts tab, so you can tell at a glance how you're doing filling the contracts. If you are using ProAg Manager for crop inventory tracking, then you probably want to click the Select Storage button. The Apply to Storage window will pop up. By default, the quantity applied cell will have the amount of the scale ticket in it not already applied to some other storage facility. Click the Storage drop-down selector and you will be able to select from the list of storage facilities entered in the Descriptions menu. After you select a storage facility, you can apply the sale to that storage by clicking OK, or you can change your mind and back out by clicking Cancel, and the Apply to Storage window will close. Just like the Apply to Contracts pop-up window, the Apply to Storage window will let you apply a sales load to more than one storage facility. And you can edit the quantity applied number yourself anytime that window is open, for whatever special circumstances arise. After entering a few tickets, you will see the summary section at the bottom of the screen display the quantity remaining, update the percent sold of the total production, update the quantity sold, the total dollars sold, update the quantity per area sold, and update the average price. In the summary section is the production button. It will toggle between default production to actual production. Click it to select whether or not you want to display the calculated quantity from the default yield and crop area or the actual harvested quantity. You can see the difference in the math in the production summary section total, quantity remaining, and percent contracted when you toggle this button. When you close the program, it will remember how the production button is toggled and will use that selection the next time it is opened. If you decide you want to delete a ticket, you must first delete any contract applied and storage applied data. The delete button will be disabled until this is done. Click the arrow button to the left of the contract applied or storage applied record you wish to remove. The record will now turn black, indicating it's selected. Then press the delete key on your keyboard and the contract applied or storage applied data will be removed. After all those records are removed, the delete button for the ticket will be enabled and the ticket can be removed. Over the course of time, there will get to be quite a few tickets entered. The Find Ticket selector near the top of the screen is enabled after the second ticket is saved. Click the drop-down selector to scroll through the list of tickets and click on which ticket you wish to review. We use this feature to enter settlement sheet check numbers. We will enter scale tickets as loads get hauled, and when the checks come, we will go through the settlement sheets entering check numbers for each load and update the discount information. The Find Ticket feature works good for this. Thank you for choosing ProAg Manager, and check back for more videos on how to use the program.